As talent goes, Naima Kankam is an intriguing case, a special kind of girl who has great prospects to become one of Ghana's finest swimmers. At a tender age of just 14, Naima has over 15 medals in her closet, with most of them being gold and silver. Naima Kankam first caught my attention at the just ended Citi TV National Swimming Championship, which was held at the Ghana Armed Forces Sports Complex in Camp, Accra. She was simply unmatched, sweeping gold medal after gold medal at the end of the one-day swimming competition organized in partnership with the Ghana Swimming Association. Days after her heroics, I paid a visit to her home, where she lives with her parents and siblings at Tesano in Accra, to have a better understanding of who this young protege is. Including her, it is a family of 6 siblings and her 2 parents, Jeffrey and Nadia. Naima picked her sporting genes from her Ghanaian father, who was an athlete in his time at a Chimoto school, while her Ivorian mother, Nadia, was not so involved in sports in her younger days. A day in the life of this teenager starts very early, with her first training session scheduled for 4:30 a.m. every day. From there, she returns home, then takes a short break before jumping in the kitchen with her mom and siblings to prepare some breakfast. Shortly after this, she jumps into her books at home. Yes, at home. Naima and her 2 siblings, Jeffrey and Luke, are homeschooled, and they have very rigorous educational schedules. I asked their parents why they chose that option and how that has helped the children to pursue their interest in swimming.
But I always felt that the way that they were being taught diverged from the way that society was moving. I mean, nothing had changed in the educational system for 100 years. It's pretty much a teacher standing in front of the class and tells you the things you need to know. Because they're very goal-oriented, whether it is academia or whether it is sports, specifically swimming, they're very clear about, okay, I can have a goal, but how do I achieve it? And how do I get close to it day by day?
The flexibility really helps because we know, let's say the others in the school have to be there at a particular time. So if, for example, the training has to extend a little bit, it might be challenging for the others, but we schedule the time that we need to get in class so that she can be doing the extra period without too much difficulty.
Away from school, I probed to find out when Jeffrey and Nadia Kankam first recognized Naima's keen interest in swimming and the urge to pursue it actively.
It wasn't a moment. It was much more about a process, all right? It started from, I love swimming, and so I started teaching the kids how to swim. We also made decisions around about that same time to homeschool the kids. And in making such a decision, it meant that we also had to find activities that would complement the social acquisition of skills, as far as the socialization is concerned. And swimming became the obvious thing because of a number of events that took place. The kids learned how to swim very quickly. Naima learned how to swim very quickly. But there was nothing at that point in time which would indicate that she was a special swimmer. She joined a club at the Citi Sports Club. There was the Marlins were there, and so we spoke to the coach. The kids joined it, and in fact, I think what surprised us about Naima after a while, because she didn't want to train very hard and that sort of thing, But each time she had a competition, particularly her first competition, she was explosive.
Overwhelming sometimes and confusing for many people regardless of their age. And so, I asked Naima's mother how she helps her deal with and navigate through life.
The first big thing that I put in place is for us to have conversations, so for us to go beyond mother and daughter, but for her to feel safe to tell me anything. Okay, so we talk about many things. So we started early talk about periods and periods for girls and all that. We even went through trying how to wear a tampon, how to use before the period will even come. So we went through that. We put together a kit for her to know that if I am not in the house and I just go to the shop and this will be the sign and it happens. This is where you'll find this and you do that. So we talk a lot. I'm very, very open. So this allows her to ask all the questions and then also allows me to go really deep into topics and, tell her that these are the red flags.
From their lovely home, the Citi Sports team had the chance to see her train with her swimming team, Marlin Swim Club, at the Tetanus Sports Club. With the drills actively underway, I pulled aside one of the assistant coaches of Marlins, Lady Rowena Majid Michelle, to have a better understanding of the kind of swimmer and girl Naima is.
She's quite interesting. She has something that a lot of girls don't have. She's able to push herself in a way that, for some reason, girls her age kind of don't really have that. If you look at the competitive swimming arena, she can really push herself. She's extremely competitive. It's quite different from the usual, attitude.
I spoke to the coach and founder of Marlin Swim Club, Raphael Quay, who spoke about his first experience with the young swimmer.
I think I remember when I met Naima very clearly. I had just started the team. She's one of the founding members. I had come for training with my handful of swimmers on that day. And in setting up the lane ropes, I saw these two young children. It was she and her brother swimming up and down. And at that time, I was on the lookout for talent. And when I watched their stroke, I could tell these people had been well coached with the fundamentals. So I had to ask them what they're doing here, how long they're here for. They directed me to their dad, Mr. Kankam. I went to speak to him, told him the vision of the sports club and what I'm trying to achieve. And he said, sure, they can join for the day. They loved it. I liked them. And 5 years later, this is where we are.
For Raphael, the sky is just the beginning for Naima if she decides to continue in the path of swimming.
I mean, for Naima, I think yes, the sky is the limit. In fact, the sky is not even the limit. Her potential is limitless. If she tries to, I think she's committed to it. She just continue this commitment with support from her parents, from her coaches, the swimming community at large. I think with all that and giving her exposure to more competitive events, I think she can be a major prospect for Ghana swimming.
I then spoke to Naima Kankam, who started pursuing swimming at the age of 8, why she chose this sporting discipline and not any other.
I don't think there's any reason why I chose swimming. It's just the first sport I ever tried. I remember because we're homeschooled, my dad was teaching us how to swim. I remember one day we came and Ralph was here training with the other students. And then he came to ask Jeffrey and I whether we could swim. And we had a whole conversation and that's where it started.
I then asked how she balances her homeschooling program and actively pursuing swimming as just not a mere hobby.
I just make schedules and try as much as possible to follow them, to make like a timeline for every single thing I'm doing. So we train morning and evening. So I pick which days I'll train in the morning and which days I'll train in the evening. Sometimes I do both. So
Naima then spoke of what inspires her to be the best among her peers.
Nobody likes to wake up early. So I'm just like, I made a commitment to this and I have a goal to reach. So I'll do whatever I have to do to get to that goal. Yeah.
On the surface, this 14-year-old girl just faces the water head on. But to her, she does feel nervous before and during contests.
You just get butterflies before every single event. It hasn't changed. I've competed many times. It doesn't change at all. So you feel nervous every single time.
How do you shake it off?
I don't. I just get to the water and it doesn't go until I'm done swimming.
Despite the uncertainties of life, young Naima believes she will keep swimming as she constantly continues to search for herself.
I mean, if I quit, it's because I've gone to uni to do another. There's so many things I want to do, and I don't know whether swimming is my main my main goal. That's what I want to do for the rest of my life. But I'm going to keep swimming until I find out what I want to do. Right now, I know I want to swim. So I'm living in the moment and swimming and swimming. If I do stop, it means I've gone to uni. So
This is the story of 14-year-old Naima Kankam. But only time can tell if this 14-year-old girl will become Ghana's best swimmer we've ever seen. For Citi News, my name is Bernard Osei, reporting from the Citi Sports Club here in Accra.